G'day guys, it's Adam here at Nomadic Off-Road Campers, and welcome to what is going to be probably the first of many Q&A sessions here in regards to our new Norca range of off-road hybrid caravans. So really exciting time, really exciting opportunities. So these Q&A sessions sort of give you an opportunity to ask questions and get an insight and a look and feel for the vans without being able to see them. I understand a lot of you can't look and feel and touch them because of obviously distances. But hopefully it gives you an idea on the thought process that goes on in my mind when it comes to the design of these vans as well. We use them. I've got kids, I've got young kids, so my daughter is nearly 8 and my young son is nearly 4. There's plenty of people out there like me, so ignore the cupboard behind me. There's meant to be a cupboard going in there, so ignore that little gap in the wall doing renos. With the kids, we obviously like to do things that are a bit more user friendly for the family, and having that experience of being able to use them, it really makes it a lot easier. Well, my thought process is to make it a lot easier for families because traveling with kids can be tough. And on the other side of the spectrum is obviously for couples. Our target market is that over 55 age group in the hybrid caravan market. So it is all about making it comfortable, making it user friendly, doing away with things that people don't really want in vans. So that's based on a lot of experience. You know, they don't want big ovens, they don't want all this, they just want the basics. But they want it to work. They want it to be functional. It has to be comfortable, and it has to work and do as we say. It should in the advertising as well. So I'll put the list of the questions in the comments feed below so that you get to see it. But for now, so I'll go with the first one. So this is from Rachel off Facebook Messenger. She's asked 2 questions here, so it's a 2-part question. A, where are your campers built and how much of the build is done in Australia? So no shying away, we obviously manufacture in China. So at the moment, I think 2 in 3 caravans or hybrid caravans coming into Australia is actually from China. Big difference between us and a lot of the other cookie cutter molds is that we actually do the design. So the design work is all done here in Australia. So I do all the drawings work, I do a lot of the CAD work, and then it's sent off. It goes to our engineering team here in Australia, so it's not they're not affiliated with us. They're a contractor. So our engineers go through the drawings of the chassis, the drawbar, making sure that's all compliant with the ADR regulations. Obviously strength testing, all that sort of stuff. So we can do that on a digital program first, and then before we go to production. Otherwise, it'd just defeat the purpose of building something knowing it's not going to work. Been doing that for a long time, and it really is a foolproof method of getting a product that is nice and strong and suitable for obviously Australian conditions. So from that level, it then goes to our factory in China, where they manufacture it under license. So they will build it as per our drawings. Been doing it a long time. They're very talented over there. They use the latest state-of-the-art equipment. I'm not sure what people think it happens over there, but they obviously do. You get what you pay for in China. So that's all I'll say about that. And I've been working with that factory for nearly a decade. So they're very talented, very skilled, and obviously looking for new innovation all the time. So the chassis, the body is done overseas, and then it's sent in containers to us here on the Sunshine Coast. We pull them out. Sorry if you can hear the dogs barking in the background. We get them here in Australia, and then the fit out occurs. So if you look at what I call critical componentry, so stuff that can really go wrong: suspension, electronics, 240 volt, gas, and rooftop assets. So let's call that the critical stuff. Furniture, soft furnishings, all that sort of stuff, we get done overseas. So if we took it like a house, if you think about your house, The walls and the flooring is all, and the roof is all done in China, and then we then do the full decking out of all the gear that we need to customize it, and because it is what we call critical componentry, my computer's gone blank. So because it is critical componentry, I find that it is best to use reputable companies here in Australia and have it supplied by reputable companies here in Australia. That way you've got the reassurance of obviously warranties and all that sort of gear that goes with it. Product support's a big thing in a caravan. Unlike a car, caravans can have a lot of different moving parts. They have a lot of things that are meant to turn and squeak and all that sort of gear. Whereas a car is something you use every single day, so you're sort of pretty much using it all the time. A caravan is something that can be sitting there for 3 or 4 months at a time, before you go to use it again. So things can happen in that 3 and 4 month period. Take an air conditioner for example. Wasps can build a nest inside an air conditioner and they can cause dramas. So what you need to know as a consumer is that you've got that full support from reputable companies in Australia wherever you are. So I use Nomadic, I use Projector, I use Truma or Leisure Tech. So Evercool fridges. So there's Munro shocks, NSK bearings, all these products that we know that we've been using for a long time, and I've been using NSK bearings now even on tractor machinery for the last 20 years. So they work. So that I hope answers the questions. Manufactured China, built in Australia. That's why we class it as that. So hope that answers your question there, Rachel. This one from Adam, must be a nice guy on Facebook. What electronic system will you use on the campers? So we use Projector. I've been using Projector now for a long time. Their product support is second to none. The Brown & Watson are a massive company. Where no matter where you are, they can usually sort something out for you. And that's really important. So big reputable companies. So and rarely have I had issues. So I continue to use them. I've been using some of the Projector stuff now for 12 years. Even in some of our older camper that I built many moons ago, we still had Projector battery chargers and the old 1000-watt inverters in there. So yeah, it's obviously technology's come a long way. So the new ones that we use is their lithium Bluetooth systems. So we've gone with their Bluetooth charging system. Their lithium charging system, which is Bluetooth compatible. So you've then got a DC charger which powers from your solar. It also powers through your car charging, and you can get up to 100 amps in that now. You got 50 amp 240 volt AC charger, and on board we're using their new 200 amp lithium battery. It's not a cheap battery. It's a very expensive battery. It's nearly $2,000 wholesale, so it's not a cheap battery at all. But it's got the latest in technology that we need for all the electrical standards, which has got the alarms and overheat sensors, and it's all plug and play. So from a consumer point of view, they can see it. It's neat, tidy, looks very respectful. It's got a great warranty up to 5 years. So from my end, it's a no-brainer to use a quality product. If we need to put a secondary battery, we can. So the standard system that will come on our range will have 300 amps of solar, 300 watts of solar, 200 amps of battery as standard. They've got a 300 amp hour discharge rate, which is really good as well. Then if you want to, you can actually upgrade to a 400 amp package as well. So a lot of power, and as I said, backed by Projector. So Brown & Watson, great company. So next question is from Shane of Facebook. When will we get to see the campers in the flesh? No one wants to see them more than me, mate. So Shane, so the plan is, we're in production now. So we're currently 20th of July. We are in production. So we're at the body stage now. and I'll start getting some photos and all that sort of stuff coming through. I am heading to the factory. I have daily updates, but I'm heading to the factory in September, beginning of September, just to meet the shipment, make sure everything's all good, go over the final products, and then we will ship them. I would predict that we will have the product here in Australia in October. Our plan is to launch at the Brisbane Caravan Camping Expo in October, which is the end of October. So that's when you'll get to see them. So focus on that. The Brisbane Caravan Camping Show is when we're aiming to launch. So and then we'll start doing the show circuit. But they'll be in dealerships as well before Christmas. And if you call those dealers now, you'll be able to get some really good pricing. Because we're doing a pre-sale, which is very good. So, okay, so this one is from Dan on Facebook. Do you use a two-piece or single-piece chassis? For those of you playing at home who may not know what a two-piece or single-piece chassis system is, so it's actually the drawbar. So, traditional method from a lot of manufacturers of caravans, they'll have the chassis body of the caravan, and then they weld the drawbar underneath it. Spare wheel here, if you can imagine, sorry, not spare wheel, but drive tyres are here. So the drawbar normally is welded to that body. Nothing wrong with it, but for me, being an off-road vehicle, they'll generally sit a little bit lower. You've got extra steel that just adds weight, so you can add an extra 100 kilos or 200 kilos of weight. And you are relying on welds. So you're relying on, people to do the right thing. For me, I prefer to use a single piece chassis drawbar system. So you'll see this in a lot of your high-end vans. So I could rattle off names, but if you look at $120,000, $140,000 off-road hybrid campers on the market, you all know who I'm talking about. They all use single piece chassis. So I use a single piece chassis, and I've used a single piece chassis for a long time. It's hot dip gal, so it's protected, and it's Q345 steel, not Q245. So Australian designed, Australian quality, Australian spec. It's a higher grade steel that we use rather than some of the cheaper carbon steels. So to explain what Dan is talking about, so if we're thinking that's the spare wheel, that's the drawbar, it's one piece of steel the whole way through, not the welded drawbar underneath. So think of it like a system without welds, and it's obviously, because you don't have those welds, you've got a lot less risk of anything going wrong. As I said, your higher end guys in Australia all use single piece chassis. Okay, Tracy again on Facebook. So we are a family of 5. We are 2 adults and 3 kids. Kids are 13, 10, 7. What van would you recommend? Okay, probably could have answered this one for you. But for me, Tracy, you're in 2 minds there. So if your 13-year-old is happy to be in a swag, you could look at the Norca 16, which is a double bunk van. So you've got a massive king bed for the mum and dad, and then you've got 2 2-meter bunks. They're north-south bunks for the 10-year-old and the 7-year-old. That's if the 13-year-old is happy to camp outside. Some 13-year-olds are. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. So, but some 13-year-olds and even some 10-year-olds. I mean, we all started camping in tents, and that was the great fun. So, so that could be an option. You could also, if you're doing a trip, you could have the 13-year-old and the 10-year-old in the bunks and the 7-year-old in the bed. If they're anything like my children, that's what normally happens. Or the other alternative is the Norca 18, which is a triple bunk van. So again, 2-meter bunks. You've got ample room there for a 13-year-old, 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old. I always try and say to people when they're buying a van, think 12 and 18 months ahead. So if your 13-year-old is 13 now, you're looking at 14, 15. So really play it up on future proofing your investment, because this is not This is not a buy it today and we'll get another one tomorrow. These are big investments for families, so really do your homework and make sure you're getting the right thing for you. But yeah, my thing would be, if it was me personally, I'd probably weigh up the option of going with the Norca 16. So yeah, that would be where I'd be sitting. So otherwise you've got the 18 as well, the triple bunk, if you're liking that. Obviously 18 gives you a bit more room, internal fridge, internal microwave, so a few other things. So that could be there. So I hope that answers that question for you, Tracy. The last question I've got for today: where are your branches located? Pete from Facebook has asked that one. Hello, Pete. So I'm based here on the Sunshine Coast. We have a factory getting built at the moment, so it will be ready in September. So I don't have anything to offer you except my wall here and which is missing a cupboard still. So as I said, we're all doing the designs. Everything's done overseas. So the factory is in Forest Glen. It's just off the highway. It's a huge factory, but as I said, it's all still getting built at the moment. So all fully renovated, and there's a lot of concrete to go in and offices and all that sort of stuff. So exciting times, but also trying to be patient there. So that will be in Forest Glen. If you're wanting to talk to a dealer, you've got Coast Country Caravans in Mackay, you've got Perkins Caravans in Lismore, you've got Camper Trailer Sales in Mount Barker in Adelaide, or you've got Touring 360 in Perth. I can tell you now, there is a company coming on board that will look after our Melbourne operations. Can't say who that is right now, but I can tell you now that those conversations are going very good. I also want to have someone in Bundaberg and also someone in Townsville taking on our range as well. So and possibly someone on that in that Brisbane area. So we'll just wait and see. But for now, that pretty much gets us covered. Sydney Metro is obviously another massive area that we've got to get a dealer in. So if you're a dealer out there looking for something, come on, see me. But yeah, so for us at the moment is with the 5 dealers nationally. That will give us that will get us underway very quickly, and then it's a matter of I don't want to get it to the point where we're telling people we're going to be waiting 12 months for a caravan again. So yeah, I want it to be so that they're looking at a 3-month and 4-month build times. That's our plan. So yeah, if you wanted to catch up with them, easiest way is to either drop us an email, sales@nomadiccamper.com.au, or we can give us a call on the phone, 1300 696 672 or 1300 Minorca. So I hope that answers all them questions today, guys. Sorry if I dribbled on a bit. That's what I tend to do for 17 minutes there. But yeah, I hope that answers a lot of the questions. If you've got any other questions, drop them in the comment section below, and we'll answer them for you in the next video. In the meantime, have fun. Take it easy. Bye.